To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Ryota Murata. Ryota Murata is confident that he believes Golovkin is past his prime. The WBA middleweight champion Ryota Murata believes his upcoming fight with Gennady Golovkin is past his best. The two champs, of course, will collide in the unification showdown Saturday night in Japan. Golovkin nears 40 years old, and at that time, he will be 40. And actually, he'll be 40 years old tomorrow. So, early happy birthday to Gennady Golovkin. Nah, good boy, nah. There are numerous observers who believe Golovkin had done enough to win the fights with Canelo, with even Murata admitting the outcomes were questionable. Golovkin last fought in 2020 when he defeated overmatched mandatory challenger Camille Zeramita. He says, yes, the decision on both fights with Canelo were questionable to me, but whether the Triple G is unbeaten does not matter. I think he is past his prime. How I perform my strong points in the ring will be important. I'm always excited to get back in the ring, and it's great that boxing is back. The entire approach, the entire tradition of boxing is still alive. I'm also excited that I have enough strength to continue to demonstrate quality boxing to my fans. So you'll continue to see me in the ring, said Golovkin. Now, back to Murata. I never agreed with the waiting game. And when I say the waiting game, it's like, hey, yeah, he believes Golovkin is not past his prime. I mean, Golovkin is past his prime. Of course he's past his prime. Golovkin was probably in his prime maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago was 2017. Maybe a little bit before that. Maybe like 6 years ago. Maybe 2016 was probably his peak. Then people were avoiding him left and right. And it was almost sickening. Billy Joe Saunders said that he believed Golovkin could beat him and Chris Eubank on the same night. But then later on said, well, I think I can take him now. I never agreed with that. I never agreed with the tactic of waiting someone out, to wait till it's the best time, to wait for their vulnerability, to wait for them to get past their prime, to wait for them to slow down. That's not a real, true, proper challenge to me. It's not. And so when I hear comments like, believes Golovkin is past his prime, that means that you were really, or could have been, one of those guys that waited or played the waiting game. Okay? And let's look up Ryota Murata. He's 36 years old himself. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you're talking about him. I think he needs to really be worried about himself, right? I know he's confident and all, but that could throw him for a loop, because because Gennady Golovkin is 40 years old don't mean he can't fight. And if he goes in there and tries to, impose on Golovkin, Golovkin still has a steel jaw. He better go to that body like Deverenchenko did, because that was the only person I seen that actually hurt Golovkin like that. Okay? Even against Canelo, and Canelo's a vicious body puncher. He never got to Golovkin like Deverenchenko did. But how much of that can you contribute to him just going past his prime, or him being rusty, or him getting older? So we don't really know. But with Ryota thinking, hey, well, he's past his prime, so I may have a shot. You may have a better shot, but don't mean once you shoot for that goal that you're going to hit, okay, and score. That doesn't mean that. You might not make that shot because Golovkin may be in good enough shape to beat him, okay, at age 36. So his 40 years old is better than your 36-year-old body or self, or, version of your performance. Because that's really what I base it on. How old are you versus what you can do at your age? And who do you fight? Okay, so him saying that, hey, I'm confident more, it just comes off like, hey, you're just really trying to, you feel better about it because, hey, he's older now and I think he's past his prime. Meaning, you know what I mean? Maybe you could read into, well, maybe if he wasn't, there would be no damn Gennady Golovkin fight because he's still damn near killing people, making them good boys and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that Ryoto Murata, being 36 years of age, needs to worry about his own age and his own performance. Damn, what happened in the Canelo fights? He's not fighting Canelo. He's fighting you. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Ryoto Murata stating that he believes Gennady Golovkin is past his prime. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.